Scags. Today I'm going to talk about the Corvette Grand Sport. The Grand Sport was a project of Zora Duntoff's to create a lightweight endurance race Corvette that could compete with the likes of the Ferrari 250 GTO, the Shelby Cobra, and the Ford GT40, among others. The plan was to make 125 race cars and 1,000 race car replicas for the general public. In the end, only 5 were produced. They all still exist, they're all in private hands, and they're all worth multiples of millions of dollars. A lot has been said and written about the Grand Sport. As a matter of fact, there's been 2 books that I know of written about the Grand Sport. So in an effort to keep the video at a reasonable length of time, I'm going to do more of an overview today as opposed to a full video. So let's go into Grand Sports, a very cool portion of Corvette history. All Grand Sports were 63s, and let's check it out. I got a couple of books that I haven't used before. So let's do Grand Sports. Here is Grand Sport number 1. Here it is before it left the factory. As a 63, it should have a split here. They got rid of the split. They got rid of a lot of stuff to make these things lightweight. It was only 1,900 pounds, and the regular Corvette was 3,400 pounds. So you could see that putting the Corvette on a diet really resulted in what they were looking for. Here's a picture of the tube frame down here. I think I have a better picture of that somewhere in one of these books. So here is Grand Sport number 1. Grand Sport number 1 comes back in a couple of books here, and it doesn't look anything like this. So remember what that is right there. Okay, moving on from there, let's go to another book that I haven't used before. Okay, Grand Sport had insane brakes, a 377 cubic inch aluminum small block, 4 side draft Webers, and a cross ram intake. Okay, here's a picture of the beautiful motor. It was a 327 that was bored and stroked within an inch of its life to create a beautiful 377 cubic inch small block, all aluminum cross ram. The carburetors on this side of the motor fed this side of the motor, and the carburetors on this side of the motor fed the opposite side. That's a cross ram. Here are the brakes, sintered brake drums, elephant ears that hooked up behind here to get some cooling air onto the brakes. How the heck do you even pronounce that? Cerametallic brake linings. Okay, so whatever the heck that means. Here's an interior view. You can see it says Grand Sport right there. 200 mile per hour speedometer is a good indicator that that is not a normal Corvette. Okay, so moving on from there, let's line these up over here. Let's go to our tried and true Corvette classics. Okay, more pictures of the beautiful 377 cubic inch. Here's an audio video camera that they installed in all Grand Sports. It helped engineers determine when the drivers were shifting gears so they could maximize output. 200 mile per hour speedometer, as I just mentioned. That's here's George Winterstein in this Corvette. This is the one that recently came off for auction. I'll get into that in a minute or two. Here's Roger Penske in Grand Sport number 5. Let's see if I have any other pictures here. Okay, let's move on from there. Okay, Corvette masterpieces. Jerry, I still haven't gotten that thumbs up. Okay, here we go. Roger Penske. Here's Roger Penske's Grand Sport. Now, the Grand Sport got no factory backing. The race ban was still on, so what Zora had to do was get these things in the hands of competent racers. And here's Grand Sport number 1. And here's what it looks like. Remember what I showed you what it looked like before? Wasn't I talking about Sawzalls and Corvettes a couple of weeks ago? They chopped the top off this one, put a little roll bar in the back there to protect the driver in case he rolled over. And here's what it looks like. Roger did away with the finicky 377 cubic inch side draft Weber carbureted motor and dropped in a big block. That's one way to win some races. So here it is, Roger Penske's. He piloted it, and you could see there's a jacking system here, like a real race car, and there it is. Very cool. Moving on from there. Put this over here with our lining it up like I like to do. Folks, if you're thinking about a 63 to 67 Corvette purchase, get this book. This is an unbelievable in-depth book. The pictures are so detailed, it's really crazy. But I know I mentioned once upon a time that Corvette race cars were just old race cars, and we're used to seeing the Grand Sport in beautiful condition, restored. How about taking a look at that? And that one was found in a barn in Florida. They restored it, and now it's worth whatever it's worth. So the Grand Sport actually had a trunk. The Grand Sport had a battery in the back. It had an oil cooler. It had a little vent up top to try to cool the driver off. Maybe that was one of the reasons why they chopped the top off. So this is a terrific book, folks. So consider it if you're looking for getting into a Corvette library. Okay, I know I mentioned that these things are worth lots of money now. This is the last one that came to auction publicly. If they trade hands perhaps privately, but this one came to auction. It was set to sell between $7 and $10 million. So go figure. There's George Winterstein. He's racing there. He owned this car. It bid to $6 million and didn't sell, and that was back in 2009. So you could see these things are worth lots of money, and it's tough to walk away from $6 mil. I don't know. Okay. Moving on from there, let's go to our trusty 50th anniversary Corvette, and we got some absolutely cool pictures here. So like I mentioned, this little fin on the back here was a differential cooler. These little ducts over here, you see one here, you see one here, you see one here. These cooled the rear brakes. Here's an oil cooler. The vented hood was able to get rid of some pressure that the motor created, get rid of some heat, maybe cool the driver off a little bit. So these are some cool pictures here. There's Grand Sport number 2. Another cool picture. Vents, cutting holes in the back to try to get this thing lightweight. More pictures of the motor, pictures of the interior. This one looks like it just got off the racetrack. There's a nice period picture. I think I got more back here. Actually had a Grand Sport emblem on it. Do you think with all the weight savings they wouldn't stick that on there, but what do I know? And here's one that had the top removed. Here's a picture, in-period picture there, in-period picture here. So totally cool. I guess to lighten it even more, they did away with the top. So there it is, folks, the Grand Sport. Tried to make it a quick video for you. Like I said, so much has been said and written about the Grand Sport that to do a complete video could probably take a couple of videos. So there's an overview of the Grand Sport, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching Corvette Talk with Scags. And thank you for 15,000 views. That's incredible. I never thought I'd get that high. I know what you're thinking. The girl that does the Corvette show in the bathing suit gets 15,000 views in a half hour. I know that. But she doesn't have the knowledge of your boy Scags. Thank you so much, folks. We'll see you next time. And I really appreciate those 15,000 views. Thank you, folks.